Yeah, shut up.
Just a couple of silly friends talking about serious stuff.
This is not what I was expecting.
Hey, two friends react to Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Today at work, I did something perfectly. Someone explained something to me verbally, and I did it completely perfectly.
Fantastic.
And they were pleased. I feel like I am among people that understand me, and that I understand. It feels really good.
That's awesome. I made candied lemon peels for the first time.
You did!
Yeah. And there was somebody in the house who was so dubious about them, like did not think the concept was appetizing at all, but was very generous and taste tested them for us anyway.
Oh.
And his response was that we needed to hide them because he would eat them all.
That's so sweet! I love that! Holy crap. I am heartwarmed by all the comments that we've been getting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This is the first week I've really had to filter, I think. Up until now, the comments haven't had much spoilers, but we're starting to get into them. Also, we had a problem with the recording that we tried to do. Unfortunately, we had to delay filming a week, so we have 2 weeks of comments. Some trends we saw in the comments. A lot of people were defending the show to say that they felt like the writers were trying to show the injustice of throwing out all of Bert's research in the episode in the courtroom, and that maybe the writers didn't do the best job of discussing it, but they did think that they were trying to send that message.
Like, isn't it absolutely ridiculous the way people are treated?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can. Yeah, then I am effectively mad.
A couple people wrote in to talk about Valencia and the scene where she was surprised at being hungry. And while there is a potential for maybe she's pregnant, as we discussed last episode, the commenters wanted to say that perhaps the writers were trying to clue us into something else about Valencia's character. Maybe they're throwing in some breadcrumbs for something else that's happening for her. So maybe to keep that in mind as we're watching.
Just gonna keep an open mind about it. Just gonna keep an open mind.
There were some people in the comments also defending Greg and his actions with Valencia, scheming, as Rebecca put it. The commenters pointed out that Greg's really being pulled in a lot of directions. I mean, he grew up with Valencia, so he cares about her, even if he doesn't think she's right for Josh. And he cares about Josh, who's his good friend, and he wants to protect him. And he's genuinely, like, romantically interested in not only Rebecca, but Heather. And he's caring for his sick, dying father. And he's trying to go to school. And, like, he's just dealing with so much stuff, right? And so they want us to maybe to keep that in mind while we...
That makes sense. That... Okay. Okay. Again, I will keep an open mind. I don't know, like... Just, I'm excited for things to turn around for Greg.
Yeah. And that was another big trend, I think in general, in the comments, is that this show goes such a long ways. And I think people feel a little nervous that we'll react too strongly to something and not give it time to get fixed. What's the word I'm looking for? Improve.
Whole story arc too. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Naiko, for your dissertation. That was fantastic. Keep them up. You're amazing. Keep going. You're the best. All we want to do is help support you to be as you as possible. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Everything. Like, I invite everyone to read the insights about Greg and about all of the. I can't. It's just. Thank you.
Love a dissertation.
It was a lovely dissertation. Keep up the great work.
Joel wrote in to tell us about Dr. Marie Fang, another YouTuber who has done some reaction videos to specifically the Dr. Akopian scenes because she's a mental health practitioner. So she watches the Dr. Akopian scenes, and Joel says that she is just as horrified as we are. So we're going to put up a card here for anybody who wants to check that out.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna watch that too. Wait, if I watch it, are there spoilers? How about you watch it first?
We can check it out. Like,
Okay.
It might say something like which episode it is. Also, in the comments, we've learned of a couple's names, which I have found.
I love portmanteaus.
So the first is Jolencia, for Josh and Valencia. And the other one, which had me laughing, was Josh Feather.
Is that Daryl? Oh my god.
Daryl and Yjo.
Yeah. Oh. Oh.
So last week,
Okay, so it's been a minute. Was this when Josh talked to Father Bruh?
yeah, that was when he talked to Father Bra.
Okay.
Yeah. Josh told Valencia that he kissed Rebecca.
Yes.
And she forgave him, and they stayed together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he did not look.
When Valencia asked Josh, "Do you love her?" he said no.
Sure did. He said, God, no. Like he was repulsed.
Oh. There's
You're correct.
just something about his apology that doesn't seem like when they started ordering food and he got that look in his face like, oh no, this is not the intended outcome that I thought this was going to have. Oh, sorry, mind reading here. Sorry, but he was clearly uncomfortable.
And we got the classic, I'm the villain of my own story.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca finally sees that her consequences have actions.
That is also true.
Daryl and Yjo had that really awkward date, and Yjo was like, maybe you should get some other experiences. And then Daryl did. And then they reconnected.
That's beautiful. That's a kind way to treat someone.
And Rebecca got the Garfinkel ring and then sold it for plane ticket money. And then hopped on a plane to have a therapy session. Well, not to have a therapy, but and then
yeah. Yeah, it's it's so gross. I don't know. I don't understand why. Like, well, to be honest, the existing struggles to find sound healthcare professionals that are the right fit for a person. That is just as goddamn fraught with controversy. Like, it is so hard. Oh, it is so hard. But what is more worth asking for help?
We're not medical professionals or lawyers.
Yes.
And we don't own the content.
Yeah, we're just here commenting. Just appreciating it.
Let's appreciate episode 15. Josh has no idea where I am.
It's my best friend's couch. She lives here. I mean, she had to sell the couch, but I got it back for her.
He really likes taking care of her.
Welcome aboard Flight 72, nonstop service to New York's JFK International Airport.
Okay, she's not going to Hawaii. The answer's that.
That my life in Southern California is nothing but a pile of garbage and turds.
You to West Covina in the first place.
Ugh. Still love it. I still love
So
it.
you did move to West Covina for Josh.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I should update that story.
Anyone see through your excuses right away?
No, you'd be surprised. You lie to yourself well enough, you can convince other people too.
But I mean, there were people who were suspicious of her, like Paula. Greg didn't really trust her, nor did Valencia.
Both of them have existing problems with women.
It's true.
Does anybody in this house need or want anything from me? Oh my God. Oh, I love it here.
Loveless, that's the word to describe my life. Relationships, family, pets. I ruin everything.
You said the very same thing when Josh found out about the broken window in your apartment. Paula told you that you were a put-togetherer and that you helped her save her marriage?
How did you know that?
Oh!
Thank you.
Oh, I feel better.
You're asleep, my friend.
A dream ghost. Well, that sounds fun. Oh, can we do fun things? There's a ton of stuff I want to do. 1, I want to haunt Hitler and get him to rethink a few things. 2, I want to see what Oprah does in her bathtub. And 3, I want to go to the nearest planet with intelligent life and see a play.
Nice.
You know the trope
Oh,
in storytelling, it's unknown. Dream ghost, giving advice you kind of already knew. I'm a dream ghost.
oh, that's delightful.
I love her big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Michael Hyatt's deep, syrupy voice. Oh, so good.
This guy is deciding whether or not to leave his wife.
Pass the butter.
If she's to terminate a pregnancy.
Pass the butter.
We are the dream ghosts. We wish our union health plan had dental.
And more. Would this be a good time to mention the Black therapist trope? Black lady therapist trope.
Yes, we did say we were going to come back to that later.
Yes.
Fantastic. So in 2018, author Aisha Harris wrote in Slate about a new trend that was popping up in media and specifically referenced Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and called it the Black Lady Therapist. And we can see this as being an outgrowth, really, of both the Black best friend trope in media and of the magic Black person trope in media. So both of these have Black characters that are nice and positive portrayals overall, but are only like the focus of them is on helping the white protagonist. And so it's kind of like when we talk about like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl being all about the man's story arc and not really having a life for her own. It's a similar thing happening here where the writers aren't having these characters develop and focus on their own lives. They're only there to serve the white protagonists.
Yeah, I was trying to read the article as a little, trying to read around the spoilers a little bit. And yeah, you were summarizing it perfectly, just saying that there should be so much more to a person's story than that they're only helping a white person out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has been changing the way that I have been viewing media.
Yeah, and like we talked about last week with bisexuality and the characters that are represented, it's not just having representation that's important, although that is a huge part of it, but also meaningful representation is important. I think that it'll be fun to examine how this plays out with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, since we have 3 more seasons to go. I don't personally remember all of Dr. Akopian's scenes, so I don't feel like I can give an analysis yet on how this TV show plays out. But so far, I think not only are we seeing the Black lady therapist trope for sure, but now with the Dream Girls, we get the magic Black person trope also on top of that.
Context, what year was this?
This show came out in 2015 and the article came out in 2018.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
2015. Different time.
I very much watched this scene being like, were they aware? Felt a little cringy, but also I really love Michael Hyatt and it was really fun watching her dream ghosts.
Especially in the little window.
So-
Tell me that's not.
I think something I'll be looking out for will be, are there other medical professionals that are portrayed in the show? And do we see their inner lives? Like, how is that comparable to Dr. Akopian? And what other Black characters are there? And how are they represented? And sort of looking at that as a whole. Something I'll be keeping in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Me as well. And we have established definitely that this is not a therapy session happening in real life. This is a dream.
Which makes it so much easier to watch.
Yes.
Oh, we're starting with a puberty memory. Harsh. Why are we doing that?
I go where the pain is.
And you just admit that?
You say love never works out for you. Let's see if it's really true.
Oh, yeah, I came here for a visit.
And?
And I didn't tell him I was coming.
Surprise!
Wow, that kid actor nailed it.
Yeah, I really like her. She's fun. I mean, I'm kind of enjoying Paula in that robe, not gonna lie.
No one's here.
Rebecca?
I do love shouting, no one's here.
Where is she?
Well, I thought she was with, I thought I knew where she was, but I guess I don't.
No. Oh.
I told her I was at a spring break choir camp in Poughkeepsie. I forged the forms and created a fake P.O. box. Then I used my bat mitzvah money to buy a plane ticket.
She has been doing this all of her life. These complicated schemes are her love language.
Hey, kitten, stop eating my potato chips, man. If you like scheming for people, you can make scavenger hunt.
Ooh. That's transmuting some energy, yeah.
I use a text bot, so I can have people like text in the clues that they find, and then they'll get the next clue via text.
I love that.
It's fun.
I'm going to ask her if I can spend holidays with you from now on.
Well,
Wouldn't that be great?
sure.
I'm half Christmas anyway.
That's a cute way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Naomi.
Silas,
No. Mom, no,
get your things and get in the car.
no,
Becca,
no, you can't make me!
listen to me.
Tell her.
Rebecca, honey. Go in the car for a moment while your mother and I talk. I'll see what I can do.
Pass it off.
Why do you have to make me take her back right away? Can't you just spend time with her for a couple of days? I'll go to a spa.
I have plans, Naomi. No one told me.
Plans, I bet. Who is she?
Oh, don't you judge me. I wasn't prepared.
Prepared for what? She's your child. You're her father. She loves you.
Don't you tell me what I should do, how to be a father. All right, when I get my life together, when I am really settled down, I'll come see her.
He has a house.
Yeah.
I just can't have anyone holding me back right now.
Right.
Please don't tell her. She won't understand.
Don't worry, I won't tell her. Not for your sake, but for hers.
For him to say, like, I'll see what I can do. I'll do my best. Like, I'll try hard. And then completely place the blame into Naomi's hands. In the eyes of their child.
Yeah.
Like, that is so unfair. That is
Yeah.
so unfair.
Such a coward.
Oh, that is so gross.
Yeah, I really feel for Rebecca's character, little Rebecca, in this.
Like, how does she know this? Like, how does she get this, like, new, like part of me is wondering if she was, like, listening in on the door and she didn't want to admit that to herself, that she did know.
I think that's definitely a possibility. I think another possibility is that her dream mind is starting to put together some pieces that maybe she hadn't quite framed in that way before, but that she already had those pieces of evidence. She just hadn't puzzled them together correctly in that framing. This may not even be an accurate memory. This may just be a reframing of information she had. This is, yeah, like, I feel like this is more the kind of realization that you would have in, like, psychedelic therapy.
Just a reframing. Yeah.
Yeah, all about that kind of thing. It's all about connecting parts of the brain that don't normally connect, reframing how you see things, getting more distance. Which is not to be confused with recreationally taking psychedelics. While sure, you may come upon a breakthrough, that is not clinical therapy. I'm not advocating you go do drugs. But I'm not advocating either.
We are not mental health professionals.
What matters is what works for you.
What matters is what works for you. And I know what works for me.
All right, let's get back into this.
Okay.
Unless we have anything to say about this fuckhead. I do want his sweater, though. That does look like a nice sweater.
Because someone did love you. Just didn't happen to be him. See? There is love in your life. You just have to know how to find it.
That's what you take away from that story?
I know that you and Rebecca kissed. I know that you were gonna tell Valencia and that she was gonna drop kick your ass. Oh no, you two are staying together, aren't you? And Rebecca found out, oh my God! I just need to calm down.
Where's
Daryl?
Rebecca? She didn't show up for work, and I called her, and I texted her, and I emailed her, and nothing.
So you storm into her house without even knocking?
I'm starting to get kind of worried.
Oh my God, the cheerful man is worried? Is Rebecca missing?
I wanted you to see that sometimes love comes up in unexpected places.
Oh, love comes in ice, is that right?
Harvard, that play you were in?
Wait, that play? That wasn't fun and I quit halfway through. Why is that important?
This musical adaptation of Moby Dick is my senior thesis, and it is not going to be easy. Guys, let's see some focus. Thank you. Now, so saying, keep your bodies connected.
Oh, yeah, I know that exercise.
Guys, let's take this seriously. This exercise will help us develop a physical shorthand with each other. Now,
As somebody who did a lot of theater growing up, this is hilarious.
Ahab, can't you see? The whale is a metaphor. I really like all this. You know, music and theater. I hadn't done it since this summer camp I went to like a million years ago, but I forgot how happy it made me.
That's great. I'm really happy for you.
There. I know what you're gonna say. You're saying that I should have looked past Warren and gone for Peter because he really cared about me, right?
The lesson's not over.
You're also sleeping with Jennifer? I mean, I don't know if I can be in the play if you're just sleeping with someone else in front of me.
well, that's your choice.
I should have seen past my superficial feelings for the roguish jerk to see the value of a nice guy like Peter.
Oh, God, no! You loved that play. You loved theater and you loved music and you were gonna change your major. You spent hours practicing alone.
Ahab, can't you see? The whale is a metaphor. But that's not a person. So how is that real love?
Love doesn't have to be a person.
Aww.
It can be a passion.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah, when things get tough, it's how I understand the world.
You know, Rebecca, maybe it's not that you don't have love in your life. Maybe it's that you don't recognize it when it's there.
I am also the queen of denial.
We get flashlights, and we sweep the forest.
Daryl, there's no forest.
I just want to take a moment and really like drink in the words like love doesn't have to be with another person to be valid, to be real. So
Yeah.
I'm just like I just want to shout out to all my A Romo buddies. Like, hey, there are so many ways to exist in this world and appreciate it. And however it is that it feels right to express excitement.
Yeah.
And enthusiasm for an entity.
I would definitely love to see more media representation of Arrow folks and Ace folks.
Yeah.
Particularly Arrow folks, because we get some Ace folks we've started to see, but I haven't really seen any Arrow folks.
Mm.
Have you seen characters that are romantic?
Well, there is not I thought no. Not necessarily a romantic. But I did see a fantastic depiction of Ace, of an Ace character in the HBO show High Maintenance.
Okay. Cool.
Hello?
Please. What's he doing here?
Oh shit, it's Greg.
Yeah, she is completely off the reservation. We don't know where she is. You don't understand. Rebecca always tells me what she's doing.
Paula, with all due respect, you haven't known her that long.
Okay, Greg. Just because you're super hot doesn't mean you get to come in here and say mean statements about my friendship, Mr. Stud.
Is Greg super hot?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like angry. Whoa, that's not cool.
What? Your friends don't know all your passwords? Not sure I would call them friends then, Daryl. What we've got here, deleted messages.
Okay, I'm out. I'm not doing this.
Well, she is moving back to New York.
At least we know she's not dead.
It's worse than her dying. She is leaving us.
What? How is that worse than her dying?
And as quickly as she entered our lives.
Oh.
She said she hated living in New York. We talk about it all the time.
We talk about it all the time.
You don't think I want to opt out every day? You think I don't want to unsubscribe from like half the things in my life?
Paula, if that's true, then you should change your life. People actually do that. Not me, but...
Yeah, shut up!
I'm glad there was some awareness.
I can't find anybody to love me. Like real love, like boy-girl love. I mean, that's gender normative, but...
At least she said it.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have one special person, but you have many people.
Plural people?
There are plural people. Shout out to our plural fans.
Hey!
They're here because they love you.
What? No. No.
Oh.
We had some really great times together.
She was the best employee I ever had. You know, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have changed my life.
Me neither. I mean, she got me that job at Aloha's.
She's allowing herself to see.
West Covina was the first place that you acted like a person. And because of it, you forged true relationships. Look how worried they are.
He doesn't care if I live or die. You heard him.
Are you sure? You sure he doesn't care?
I mean, I thought I was, but now that you say it like that, I'm not so sure anymore. Oh, my God. He called every hospital in the area and some morgues.
Now, why would he do that?
Because he's hoping I was dead.
There's a lot of love in your life, Rebecca. If you opened your heart to the possibilities of all kinds of love, something good might happen. Maybe it's time you see what else is in your life besides Josh Jam.
Oh.
Wake up, Rebecca.
Everything you said was right.
I didn't say anything. You've been busy sleeping, and I've been binge-watching Broad City.
Right, because it's all a dream, and you were a ghost, but now you're gonna do something all winky, and I'm gonna go, wait, it was all real.
I think you need more therapy than I initially thought.
Yeah, it's not an appropriate thing to say in public.
It's a side note, since they brought up the Bechdel test. Rachel Bloom was talking about how season 1 was supposed to function as sort of an inverse of the Bechdel test, where every conversation was about a man. But the actual focus of the story, like the meaning, the plot, the more, whatever, the meat of it, was about the relationship between the women. Yeah.
It's really just playing with it, turning it inside out. That's cool. And yeah, it truly, like, I could see it from the very first episode when they were at the party.
Yeah.
Again, not a health professional, but I don't think it's wise to mix sleeping pills and alcohol.
Nope.
Not a good idea.
That's a really good way to have pretty serious respiratory issues.
Well, maybe we can think of some way to make her stay here in town. What would make her stay?
You can make that happen.
I don't understand what.
Well, I'm out.
Look at these. You're here!
Yeah, I got on a plane and then I got off and got right back on another plane.
We found out about New York. I looked on your laptop.
I assumed you would. For good. Oh, thank God.
We thought you were gone.
I knew you weren't going anywhere. You've got your reasons for living in this town. Welcome back, Bunch. I'm out.
Hey, thank you for being here.
He smiled. He smiled just a little bit.
Please don't ever leave me again. It hurts my heart.
Oh, Daryl.
I love Daryl.
So, I see my pictures arrived.
Rebecca, what are all these? Why do you have them? Rebecca?
I'm making a
Are you
platonic
in love with me?
collage.
That was episode 15.
That was episode 15. I have used the technique of imagining my adult self in the scene where I am needing protection as a child. And I'm there, and I take myself by the hand, and I lead myself out. And no, that's not what literally happened. But it is an extraordinarily helpful reframing. And sometimes just being open to the possibility of a reality happening in which you do know what happened between your parents in that argument, and you were protected when you needed it. Like, that's enough to start to feel like you're starting to feel safe. Heal. It's a good, it's really.
The last time that I had a psychedelic therapy session, I built myself a little workshop. Like I made myself a little workshop, and in it, I took the part of me that was still feeling really scared about how other people would react to my spasms and my seizures and things like that. And I built a little armored vehicle, like the Pope Mobile, for my little character that was feeling scared, so that it could go around in the world and not be so impacted by other people's reactions.
But I can still see. I can still experience.
I was a little more protected. It reminds me of the Tom Robbins quote, "It's never too late to have a happy childhood."
That's beautiful. And he's one of my favorite authors. Yeah.
I started reading Tom Robbins for the first time, during the same period that I first became suicidal. And this was over a decade ago. And I entered therapy at the same time that I started reading. Which one was it? It's one with the Camel cigarettes. The Outlaws. Is it really? Maybe it has a list of them. Here we go. Still Life with Woodpecker was the first one. And yeah, started it like basically in conjunction with therapy. I found it really helped me in my mental state and my emotional state. His writing reminded me that magic exists in the world.
Yes.
And reminded me of the importance of whimsy in one's life. Like, I credit him and his work with helping me to get over that hump. And when I graduated from college, because I went back to college after that, when I graduated, I sent him a 9-page letter on special stationery, telling him about how he had influenced my life. And he wrote me back a really sweet little postcard.
That's fantastic.
The one that I grabbed is his memoir,
Mm-hmm.
called Tibetan Peach Pie. I don't know if you've read it.
Mm-mm.
Well, he calls it not an autobiography, but a collection of the stories that he's told the women throughout his life, which I actually really appreciate as a framing, because I've studied a lot of human psychology and I know that memory is terrible. And so I appreciate that he understands that his stories are biased and not the exact honest truth of what happened.
Oh yeah, like the new Weird Al documentary, biopic.
I haven't seen it yet. Is that the one with Daniel Radcliffe?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta watch that. Who doesn't love Weird Al and Daniel Radcliffe?
It's so good. It's so good. It is exactly the answer we were hoping for in all questions. Weird Al was my first CD. Bad Hair Day.
That's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
My first CD was a gift from my aunt, who did not know me very well, and bought me the Hanson Christmas CD. I think the first CD I bought for myself was the 1997 Grammys CD, which is also how I knew that Tracy Chapman won the 1997 Grammy. All right. I don't have much else to say about this episode.
Oh, yeah, I guess not.
Got off on different topics.
Yeah. Okay. But join us next time for episode 16. Josh's sister's getting married.
Oh, shit.
I wonder what that has to do with Rebecca.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Mhm.
We love talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like, I'm not reading them because there might be spoilers. But I get the summaries and I appreciate it.
I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.